Hey there, wildlife lovers. Welcome back to TVP Wildlife, the place where we dive into the wonders of nature, one creature at a time. I'm your host, and today we're following one of the most charming, mischievous, and surprisingly smart animals you've probably seen jumping from tree to tree, the squirrel. These tiny acrobats of the forest have stolen our hearts and our snacks. But trust me, there's way more to them than meets the eye. Behind those twitching noses and fluffy tails lies a story of survival, intelligence, and agility that's truly jaw-dropping. So grab your seat, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and let's swing right into the secret life of the squirrel, the world of the squirrel around the globe. From the icy forests of Canada to the tropical jungles of Southeast Asia, lives one of nature's most adaptable creatures, the squirrel. There are over 180 species of squirrels in the world, and they come in every shape, size, and color you can imagine. Some can fly from tree to tree, gliding like tiny superheroes. Others live underground, tunneling through the earth like nature's engineers. And some have even learned to survive right beside us, stealing from our bird feeders or raiding our city parks with absolute confidence. Squirrels belong to the family Squirrelidae, which includes not only the tree squirrels we all know, but also ground squirrels, chipmunks, marmots, and even prairie dogs. They've been around for over 35 million years, evolving and adapting to almost every environment imaginable. Think about that for a second. While massive animals like mammoths and saber-toothed cats disappeared, squirrels kept right on thriving. They're survivors. Quick, clever, and endlessly curious. Let's be honest, squirrels are adorable. Those bright eyes, fluffy tails, and tiny hands make them look like nature's little toys. But beneath that cute appearance is a brain built for survival. Squirrels are among the most intelligent rodents on Earth. They can remember the exact spots where they've hidden hundreds, sometimes thousands, of nuts. Studies show they use landmarks like rocks, trees, or even shadows to map their secret caches. And get this, when other squirrels or birds are watching, they'll pretend to bury a nut to trick potential thieves. That's right, squirrels use deception, one of the rarest behaviors in the animal kingdom. It's not just instinct, it's strategy. Their memory, problem-solving skills, and adaptability have made them masters of urban living too. They can climb walls, balance on telephone wires, and even solve puzzles humans design to test their intelligence. If you've ever tried to squirrel-proof your garden, well, you already know who usually wins that battle. Now, let's talk about agility, because squirrels might just be the best parkour athletes in nature. Their bodies are perfectly engineered for life among the trees. Those long, flexible ankles can rotate 180 degrees, allowing them to run headfirst down a tree, something most animals can't do. Their sharp claws act like hooks, gripping bark even at impossible angles. And then there's that magnificent tail, a multi-tool of nature. It works as a balance bar, a parachute when jumping, a blanket in the cold, and even a signal flag when communicating with other squirrels. When they leap from branch to branch, their tails flick like a rudder, steering them through the air. Every movement is a perfect blend of calculation and instinct, like a gymnast flipping through a leafy arena. Imagine this. Dawn breaks over the forest canopy. The air is cool, the sun's rays slip through the leaves, and a tiny face peeks out from a leafy nest. That's our squirrel. It stretches, shakes off the night, and begins its morning mission to eat, explore, and prepare for the next season. Breakfast might be a few acorns, a pine cone, or even some fungi. Squirrels are omnivores, meaning they'll eat just about anything: seeds, fruit, bark, insects, and sometimes even small bird eggs. After feeding, it's time to stash away food. This behavior, called caching, is what squirrels are most famous for. During autumn, they can spend up to 12 hours a day collecting and hiding food for the cold months ahead. Each nut they bury isn't just survival insurance, it's also a gift to the forest. Many of those buried nuts are never found again, and from them, new trees grow. In other words, squirrels accidentally plant the forests of tomorrow. Squirrels may look quiet, but they're constantly talking. In their own unique language, they use chirps, clicks, and tail flicks to warn each other of danger, challenge rivals, or show curiosity. When a hawk circles above, a squirrel will make sharp barking sounds to alert everyone nearby. And yes, they can recognize each other individually. Scientists have found that squirrels use smell, vocal tone, and movement patterns to identify their family members and neighbors. Some even form social bonds, sharing nests during cold nights or grooming each other to strengthen trust. They're not just instinctive creatures, they're emotional beings, capable of curiosity, playfulness, and even affection. Life for a squirrel isn't all sunshine and nuts, though. Every day, danger lurks in the shadows, from hawks and owls to snakes and foxes, even in cities. Cars and domestic cats pose constant threats, and as humans cut down forests and expand urban areas, many squirrel species face shrinking habitats. Yet somehow, these tiny survivors always find a way. They adapt, evolve, and continue to flourish, reminding us that sometimes the smallest creatures have the biggest determination. High above the ground, where sunlight dances through the canopy, lies the squirrel's fortress, a carefully crafted home known as a dray. At first glance, it looks like just a bundle of twigs and leaves tangled in a branch fork. But step closer, and you'll see it's actually an engineering marvel. A squirrel builds its dray with a solid base of twigs, lined with soft moss, grass, and even shredded bark. The walls are thick, waterproof, and designed to keep warmth inside during cold months. Some species even have layers of insulation, creating a cozy, weatherproof nest. And here's the amazing part. A single squirrel might build 4 or 5 nests across its territory. Why? Because in the wild, flexibility means survival. One nest for rest, one for food storage, another for raising young, and a few more as backup shelters. When danger strikes, each nest sits high enough to avoid ground predators, yet hidden enough to stay out of a hawk's sight. It's the perfect example of natural design, efficiency built from instinct and experience. Inside the safety of the dray, new life begins. A mother squirrel gives birth to 2 to 6 babies, depending on the species and season. They're born hairless, blind, and completely helpless, each one smaller than a thumb. For the first few weeks, the mother rarely leaves the nest, nursing her young and keeping them warm with her body. Her bond with the babies is fierce. If the nest is disturbed by a storm, a snake, or even a curious bird, she'll grab her young one by one and carry them to a new nest, often several meters away, in a daring rescue mission. As the weeks pass, the baby's fur thickens, their eyes open, and their curiosity ignites. Soon, the nest becomes a chaotic playground, tiny tails flicking, paws scrambling, and endless squeaks echoing through the branches. At around 8 to 10 weeks old, the young squirrels take their first leap into the world. And that first jump, it's not always graceful. Some tumble, others misjudge their landing. But with every fall, they learn, and within days, they move with the same fearless agility as their mother. This is how squirrel survival begins. Not in strength, but in courage and endless trial. Life in the forest is a constant challenge. Food, predators, weather, everything demands attention. And the squirrel, despite its small size, faces it all head-on. When winter approaches, their instincts shift into overdrive. You might see them racing through branches, carrying nuts and seeds in their mouths, burying them in dozens of secret spots. But what's truly fascinating is how their memory and adaptability help them survive the harshest months. Researchers discovered that squirrels don't just rely on smell to find buried food. They use spatial memory. Like a living GPS system, they remember the landscape's shape, tree placement, and even the way sunlight falls during the day to locate their caches. Or still, not every nut is recovered. Some are forgotten, and from those forgotten treasures, new trees grow. In a way, every squirrel is both a consumer and a gardener of the forest. But food isn't their only concern. Predators are everywhere. Hawks, owls, snakes, and foxes all see squirrels as the perfect meal. To survive, squirrels depend on 3 things: speed, silence, and smarts. They can freeze in place, blending perfectly with tree bark. Their tails flick to distract predators. And when chased, they don't run in straight lines. They zigzag, leap, and twist in midair, turning the forest into their personal obstacle course. Nature has trained them to think fast, literally. Their reaction time is so quick that they can change direction mid-jump, dodging danger by mere centimeters. What's truly amazing about squirrels is their ability to adapt anywhere. Anytime. In snowy mountains, you'll find red squirrels hoarding pine cones under blankets of snow. In deserts, ground squirrels dig deep burrows to escape the burning heat. And in bustling cities, gray squirrels thrive among skyscrapers and humans. As if the concrete jungle was built just for them. They've learned to navigate human spaces with ease, leaping across power lines, raiding bird feeders, and even remembering which houses have friendly owners who leave food out. But not all encounters with humans are friendly. In some areas, squirrels are seen as pests, chewing wires, raiding gardens, or nesting in attics. Yet even then, you can't help but admire their persistence. These tiny creatures remind us that intelligence isn't about size, it's about adaptation. Whether in forests, fields, or city parks, squirrels are masters of making the best out of any situation. If you pause and watch a squirrel for a few minutes, you'll see more than just an animal looking for food. You'll see a symbol of resilience. Every leap they make is a calculated risk. Every nut they hide is a bet on the future. They face storms, hunger, predators, and yet, they never stop moving, never stop trying. There's something deeply human about that spirit. Maybe that's why we love them so much. Because in their endless hustle, their boundless curiosity, and their fearless jumps from one branch to another, we see a reflection of ourselves. Squirrels might look like solitary creatures, those little loners darting through branches or digging up acorns on their own. But hidden within their quick movements and twitching tails lies a surprisingly rich social world. From chatter-filled confrontations to gentle grooming, the social life of a squirrel is far more complex than most people realize. Let's start in a sunlit clearing of the forest. Two gray squirrels chase each other in circles around a tall oak. To a casual observer, it might look like a game. But in the world of squirrels, every movement, every flick of the tail, and every chirp has meaning. Communication is the lifeblood of their interactions. Because squirrels live in a world filled with both friends and foes, they've developed an intricate system of signals, a language made up of sounds, gestures, and even scents. When a predator like a hawk appears, squirrels release a rapid series of warning calls, short, sharp barks that echo through the trees. It's like a forest-wide alarm system. Each species has its own unique version of this danger call, and other squirrels instantly recognize it. Their bodies freeze, tails stiffen, and every muscle prepares to bolt. But not all calls are about danger. Some are challenges, bold vocal warnings directed at rivals invading their territory. Others are soft, chattering sounds used between mates or mothers and their young. It's a subtle, emotional vocabulary, one shaped by millions of years of adaptation. And then there's the tail, the squirrel's most expressive tool. It can wave, twitch, flick, or flare, sending messages faster than words ever could. A slow, deliberate flick might mean curiosity. A quick, jerky one might signal anger. And when a squirrel shakes its entire tail rapidly, it's often saying, "Back off, this is my space." Researchers once observed that squirrels can even combine tail movements and vocal sounds to create multi-layered messages, something only a few intelligent animals, like primates and dolphins, are known to do. Imagine that, tiny creatures weighing less than a pound, capable of a complex communication system that rivals some of the smartest mammals on Earth. But communication isn't just about warning or fighting, it's also about connection. Watch a group of ground squirrels basking in the morning sun. They groom each other gently, nibbling away dirt and parasites. This behavior isn't just hygiene, it's social bonding. Through touch and familiarity, they build trust within the group. Tree squirrels, by contrast, are more independent, but even they show moments of social cooperation, especially during harsh winters. When temperatures drop, it's not uncommon to find 2 or 3 squirrels curled up together in a single nest, sharing warmth and safety. In those moments, survival becomes a team effort. Of course, where there's community, there's also competition. And for squirrels, territory is everything. A single tree or a handful of branches can mean the difference between comfort and starvation. That's why squirrels guard their feeding zones fiercely. You might see 2 of them facing off, tails fluffed out, standing tall on their hind legs. They'll chirp, grunt, and stamp their paws, a dance of dominance. Actual fights are rare, but when they happen, they're lightning fast, a blur of fur, teeth, and flying leaves. Despite their small size, squirrels are bold defenders of what's theirs. Some even use psychological warfare. Scientists have noticed that after another squirrel hides food, a sneaky neighbor might follow, pretending to bury its own nut nearby. Later, it'll come back and steal the hidden stash. It's deception at its finest, a furry version of espionage. And yet, amid all this cunning and competition, squirrels also know how to have fun. Yes, animals play, and squirrels are masters at it. Young squirrels, especially, love to chase, wrestle, and leap across branches just for the thrill of it. They perform mid-air flips, hang upside down, and even engage in what looks like playful taunting, sneaking up on each other, darting away at the last second, then chattering in triumph. Play isn't just entertainment, it's training. Every jump hones their coordination. Every chase teaches speed and strategy. Through play, they learn the skills that keep them alive in adulthood. But play also builds social understanding. It teaches boundaries, signals, and empathy. When one squirrel bites too hard or gets too rough, the other might squeak or freeze. A clear message that says, "That's too much," over time. These lessons shape their ability to read emotions and maintain peaceful interactions. Even adult squirrels indulge in play occasionally. You might see one spinning in circles on the ground, rolling in leaves, or chasing its own tail. Not because it's hungry or afraid, but simply because it can. That spark of curiosity, that need to explore and experiment, is what keeps squirrels endlessly fascinating to watch. Social dynamics among squirrels vary widely between species. Ground squirrels, which live in colonies, have elaborate hierarchies. There are dominant individuals who control the best burrows and feeding areas, and subordinates who wait their turn. Some groups even work together to defend against predators, posting sentries that whistle warnings when danger appears. Tree squirrels, on the other hand, prefer solo life but still maintain loose neighborly relationships. They know who lives in the next tree and who's likely to steal their food. These relationships often swing between rivalry and tolerance, a delicate balance of competition and coexistence. Interestingly, female squirrels tend to be more territorial than males, especially during breeding season. They'll chase away intruders, bark relentlessly, and even fake distress calls to distract rivals. Mother squirrels, in particular, are fiercely protective, turning into tiny warriors when their young are threatened. And then there's the fascinating mating dance, one of the wildest displays of athleticism in the animal kingdom. When a female goes into heat, multiple males may chase her for hours, leaping from branch to branch in a high-speed pursuit. The fastest, smartest, and most persistent usually wins. But sometimes, the female outsmarts them all, leading them on a chase through impossible terrain before disappearing into her nest, leaving her suitors confused and exhausted. It's not just survival of the fittest. It's survival of the cleverest. In some cases, males form temporary alliances, teaming up to locate a female, then turning on each other once they find her. These shifting dynamics show that even in the squirrel world, social relationships are fluid, strategic, and occasionally treacherous. Yet, beneath all the rivalry and trickery, there's still a deep sense of community. When danger comes, a hawk, a snake, or a sudden storm, territorial boundaries vanish. Squirrels band together, alerting each other, hiding their young, and surviving as one. Their social intelligence is a quiet, often overlooked wonder of nature. It's not loud or dramatic, but it's real, built on years of instinct, evolution, and tiny daily interactions that make life possible. Watch a squirrel long enough, and you'll start to see patterns, greetings, warnings, friendships, rivalries, a whole society unfolding in miniature. Every flick of a tail, every chirp, every cautious glance tells a story. They may not have words, but their world is alive with conversation. And as you watch them, scampering, arguing, playing, you can't help but feel that maybe, just maybe, they're not so different from us after all. If you've ever watched a squirrel in action, darting across branches, leaping impossible distances, and outsmarting bird feeders, You've probably wondered, how can such a tiny creature be so unbelievably clever? Squirrels may look playful and impulsive, but beneath that fluffy tail is a brain built for brilliance. In the animal kingdom, they are the ultimate problem solvers, masters of memory, deception, and adaptation. Let's start with one of their most famous talents, remembering where they hide their food. Every autumn, when the air turns crisp and the leaves begin to fall, squirrels start one of the most impressive memory games in nature. They bury hundreds, sometimes thousands, of nuts and seeds across their territory, a behavior known as scatter hoarding. Each nut is a lifeline for the coming winter. But imagine this, they might hide food in hundreds of different spots spread over acres of forest. Months later, under snow and dead leaves, they somehow manage to find many of them again. How? Not by smell, as most people think, but through spatial memory and mental mapping. Squirrels create detailed mental maps of their surroundings. They memorize landmarks like rocks, fallen logs, or the shape of a tree trunk, and use these to navigate back to hidden caches. Even after weeks or months, they can pinpoint a buried nut within a few inches. Researchers tested this by moving squirrels' food caches while they weren't watching. And the result? The squirrels still searched in the exact original spots, proving they remembered where they hid it, not what it smelled like. But here's where it gets even more fascinating. Squirrels organize their storage, like humans arrange a pantry. Instead of hiding all nuts randomly, they sort them by type and quality. Walnuts might go in one area, acorns in another, and perishable foods closer to home for quick access. It's not just instinct, it's strategy. Some even triage their nuts. If a nut is cracked or less valuable, they'll eat it right away instead of wasting time burying it. It's efficiency in action, pure cognitive management. And of course, with great food comes great competition. Other squirrels, birds, or even chipmunks often try to steal their caches. That's where the mind games begin. When a squirrel feels it's being watched, it performs a clever trick, false caching. It'll dig a hole, pretend to bury a nut, pat down the dirt, and walk away, all while keeping the real nut hidden in its mouth. Only after leaving the area will it stash the food somewhere secret for real. This kind of deceptive behavior requires not just intelligence, but self-awareness, the ability to imagine what another animal might be thinking. That's something even some primates struggle with. In other words, the squirrel can outthink its enemies, but memory and deception aren't their only genius traits. They're also remarkable problem solvers. Urban squirrels, for instance, are constantly challenged by humans trying to protect bird feeders or trash bins. In one famous experiment, scientists created an obstacle course of swinging doors, mazes, and levers to see if squirrels could reach hidden food. At first, the squirrels struggled, pushing, biting, trying random moves, but within hours, they began testing each mechanism logically, one at a time. Soon, they learned the correct sequence to open the box, and once they solved it once, they never forgot. Even months later, when scientists changed the setup slightly, the squirrels quickly adapted, using past experience to solve the new puzzle. That kind of adaptive learning, the ability to apply knowledge from one situation to another, is one of the strongest signs of animal intelligence. It's not just about memorizing patterns. It's about understanding how the world works. Their brains are wired for it. While small, a squirrel's brain makes up a surprisingly large portion of its body weight, comparable to that of some primates. The hippocampus, the brain region that handles spatial memory, is particularly well developed. In autumn, when caching season begins, the hippocampus actually grows larger, boosting their memory performance. That's right, their brains physically change depending on the season. And once winter passes, it returns to normal size. Talk about a mind that literally expands with experience, beyond problem solving. Squirrels also demonstrate emotional intelligence, subtle but powerful. They can read the behavior of other animals, recognizing threats long before they happen. For example, if a hawk is circling high above, a squirrel won't just react to the bird itself. It'll react to the behavior of nearby squirrels or birds. If others go silent, it freezes instantly. That's social awareness at work. Squirrels also use this awareness in competition. When two squirrels race for the same food source, You'll notice quick glances, pauses, finds all the hallmarks of tactical decision-making. They don't simply dash. They anticipate each other's next move. That it's like a high-speed chess game played across the treetops. And when danger strikes, that lightning-fast brain takes over. Squirrels can process visual information and make split-second adjustments to their movement mid-leap. Studies using slow-motion cameras show that a squirrel can judge distance, branch flexibility, and landing angles all within a fraction of a second, often adjusting its trajectory in midair to avoid a fall. Imagine that. While we'd need years of physics lessons to calculate that kind of motion, a squirrel does it instinctively every single day. Their problem-solving doesn't stop with physical challenges. Even in human environments, squirrels display creative thinking. They learn to time traffic lights, cross busy roads when cars stop, and even memorize the feeding schedules of park visitors. And they can learn from watching others. If one squirrel figures out how to open a food container, nearby squirrels quickly pick up the technique. A rare example of social learning in rodents. Its intelligence spreading like wildfire through observation. But intelligence isn't just about survival. It's also about curiosity, the drive to explore, experiment, and play with the world. Squirrels are endlessly curious. They'll investigate new objects, test them, and remember which ones are dangerous. This cautious curiosity allows them to adapt quickly to new environments, whether it's a forest, a farm, or a city street. Their combination of boldness and caution is what scientists call behavioral flexibility, one of the key traits that predict how well an animal can adapt to changing conditions. In today's world, that flexibility is their greatest strength. Urbanization, deforestation, and climate change constantly reshape their habitats. Yet squirrels keep thriving, shifting their diets, nesting habits, and behaviors to survive wherever they end up. In many cities, they've even become part of human culture, symbols of playfulness and persistence. Parks and neighborhoods wouldn't feel the same without them. Still, beneath that charm lies a mind working overtime, remembering, planning, adapting, learning. Every decision, every movement, every buried nut is part of a complex web of thought and instinct. Squirrels may never write books or build machines, but in their world of branches, leaves, and endless challenges, they are geniuses in their own right. They teach us that intelligence isn't just about logic or language. It's about awareness, creativity, and the will to keep figuring things out. No matter how small or simple life seems, the squirrel doesn't stop to overthink. It sees, decides, and leaps, trusting its mind and body to work together in perfect harmony. And maybe that's the true secret of its genius. Not just intelligence, but confidence in its instincts. The kind of wisdom that only nature can create. Wherever humans go, squirrels seem to follow. From the vast forests of North America to the crowded parks of London. From ancient temples in Asia to city rooftops lined with antennas. The squirrel has found a way to live right alongside us. It's strange when you think about it. They're wild animals, yet somehow they've become part of our everyday lives. We see them racing across sidewalks, balancing on power lines, or cheekily staring at us from the branches above, as if watching our strange habits, with curiosity of their own. In a way, the story of the squirrel is also a story of coexistence, one that stretches back thousands of years. Long before cities existed, humans and squirrels shared the same forests. Early people watched them, learned from them. Some cultures saw squirrels as symbols of diligence and preparation, admired for their tireless gathering and foresight. Others told stories of trickster squirrels, clever, mischievous creatures who outsmarted the strong through intelligence and agility. In Norse mythology, there was Ratatoskr, a squirrel who ran up and down the world tree, carrying gossip between gods and serpents, a messenger, a connector, forever in motion. In Native American tales, squirrels often represented balance, small but essential, a reminder that even the tiniest beings can hold great power in nature's web over time. As humans built towns and cut deeper into forests, squirrels didn't vanish. They adapted. When the first city parks were created in the 19th century, squirrels were intentionally introduced as a touch of wildness, a way to make urban life feel closer to nature. People were encouraged to feed them, and soon, Squirrels became beloved residents of parks across the world. Children giggled as they tossed peanuts. Photographers captured their playful antics, and even the grumpiest office workers found a bit of peace watching them dash through the grass. But this new closeness came with challenges too. Squirrels learned to exploit our generosity and our trash. They raided bird feeders, chewed through wires, and sometimes even moved into attics. What was once a distant forest dweller became a neighbor, a nuisance, and a source of endless fascination all at once. Yet, despite the small conflicts, people rarely stop loving them. There's something irresistible about their boldness, that fearless spark in their eyes as they dart across our world as if they own it. And maybe, in a way, they do, because squirrels have learned the secret of human spaces better than almost any wild animal. They've cracked the code of our architecture. They use fences as tree trunks, cables as vines, rooftops as cliffs. In doing so, they've transformed our cities into their playgrounds. We call it urban wildlife, but to them, it's just home. What's even more remarkable is how our lives and theirs have quietly intertwined in ways we rarely notice. Every time we plant a tree or forget a few seeds in the soil, we help feed future generations of squirrels. Every nut they bury and forget helps regrow the forests we depend on. It's an invisible partnership, a silent collaboration between species. Ecologists have even called squirrels forest gardeners. Their caching habits unintentionally plant thousands of trees every year. Oak, walnut, chestnut. Many of these great forests owe their survival to the forgetfulness of squirrels. So while we may see them as simple creatures chasing nuts, they're actually helping maintain the balance of entire ecosystems. But the relationship goes beyond ecology. On a deeper level, squirrels have become part of human emotion. Tiny ambassadors of nature in the middle of our concrete lives. In parks, they bring people together. Strangers share nuts. Parents teach their kids about wildlife. Photographers capture moments of quiet beauty. For a few seconds, watching a squirrel leap across a branch reminds us that life is still wild, even here. In the middle of the city, they remind us of curiosity, of courage, of joy in simple movement. They show that no matter how complex our world becomes, there's always room for play and discovery. And sometimes, they even teach us empathy. When we slow down to watch them, when we leave a few seeds out or protect a tree for their nests, we connect, not through words, but through small acts of kindness toward another species. That's the magic of the human-squirrel connection. It's quiet, humble, and surprisingly profound. But this story isn't just about love and admiration. It's also about responsibility. As forests shrink and climates change, squirrels face new dangers. Some species, like the red squirrel in the UK, are losing ground to invasive gray squirrels. Others face habitat loss from logging and urban sprawl. And though squirrels seem endlessly adaptable, even their resilience has limits. Every fallen tree, every destroyed woodland, takes away a home, not just for them, but for countless other creatures. So, our role now isn't just to admire them, it's to protect the spaces we share. Planting trees, preserving parks, supporting reforestation. These aren't just acts of conservation, they're acts of friendship. Each tree we plant is a promise that there will still be branches for the next generation of squirrels to leap from. Still nests swaying in the wind. Still laughter in the parks where humans and squirrels meet. In a way, the squirrel represents the best of nature's spirit, determination, adaptability, and an endless sense of wonder. They face challenges head-on, with a kind of cheerful stubbornness that feels almost human. When you see one hanging upside down from a branch, stretching for a nut that looks just out of reach, you can't help but cheer for it, because deep down, you know what it feels like to reach for something just beyond your grasp. And maybe that's why we relate to them so deeply. Because like us, squirrels are dreamers, planners, survivors. They remind us that even in the smallest hearts beats a wild, fearless drive to live, to explore, to keep going. They're not just animals in our world, they're mirrors of our own persistence. So next time you see one dart across a park path or stare down at you from a branch, take a moment. Watch closely. You might just see a little reflection of yourself, curious, determined, and endlessly alive. And that brings our journey through the incredible world of squirrels to an end. From their daring leaps to their clever minds, from their hidden nests to the connections they've built with us, these tiny acrobats have shown us what true adaptability looks like. If you enjoyed this adventure, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to TVP Wildlife, and turn on that notification bell so you never miss our next deep dive into the wild world of nature. Thank you for watching, and remember, stay curious, stay wild, and keep exploring with TVP Wildlife.